Welcome into a special edition of Chat Sports. My name is Jack Lautaret, and we have breaking news. It is official, ladies and gentlemen. Juan Soto is a New York Met. He is signing a 15-year, $765 million deal to move from the Bronx to Queens. And this is the biggest deal in baseball history. There is a lot to break down. I'm going to give you all of the details and where the other teams that were in contention go from here. But before I do that, I want to hear your guys' one-word reaction down below in the comments. What is your one-word reaction to this Juan Soto signing, the contract, everything involved? Give me your one-word reaction down below in the comments. My one word, bag. Soto gets a bag, and he deserved it. We all knew that the bidding was going to get into the upper 600s, upper 700s at some point, because Soto is a generational talent. I think most people that watch baseball realize that Soto is a generational talent. I know that there are some takes out there that, maybe he's not, maybe this was a bit of an overpay. Soto, in at least my opinion, is one of, if not the best pure hitter in this generation of baseball players. The clip that he gets on base is so impressive, and he is absolutely dangerous in whatever lineup you put him in. So for him to be joining this Mets team that was on the precipice of making the World Series last year and just losing out to the Dodgers, who won the World Series, this is an instant upgrade that is going to instantly make them World Series favorites. So my one word is a bag. He deserved the bag, and he got it. Okay, let's get into the details of the deal. First things first, no deferred money. And this was, from the start, the biggest point of contention. Soto did not want to defer any money in his contract. So what does that mean? Shohei Ohtani last year signed, at the time, the record biggest contract in terms of total value in Major League Baseball history at $700 million. The difference between that deal and this deal is that a lot of Ohtani's contract was deferred. If you guys know Bobby Bonilla, he is still getting deferred payments to this day, and he hasn't played in decades. Shohei is going to get a lot of money in the future that will not be handed out in the next few years on his contract. Soto didn't want that. Soto wanted the money, and he wanted it now. That was always known from the beginning. He did not want any deferred money, and there is no deferred money on this deal. Also, there is an opt-out after the 5th year. So I believe, if I read the tweet correctly, that is after the 2029 season, there is an opt-out. So I guess there's a little bit of insurance there for both Soto and the Mets in case the contract goes horribly wrong, which I don't foresee happening. But one opt-out, no deferred money, and again, biggest contract in the history of Major League Baseball. So Jon Heyman had this as well. So we know, I think this came down to a bidding war between the Yankees and the Mets. I think, and that's what we thought was going to happen at the end of the day. Anyway, this was not a surprise if you've been following the Juan Soto sweepstakes. So Jon Heyman reports that the Yankees' final bid was $760 million for 16 years. Now, I think the biggest sticking point here is the AAV, or average annual value. Soto is getting better average annual value at $51 million a year with the Mets deal. The average annual value for the Yankees deal, as it appears, did not cut it. So that's one thing to consider. The Yankees gave it their best shot. They clearly went over that $550 million cap that was reported last week, and they gave it their best shot. At the end of the day, Soto wanted to be a Met. That is what it is. At that point, I don't even think it's a money thing. I think it is a fit thing, because $5 million off, a little bit of average annual value off, at the end of the day, I think this was a fit thing. I don't think that this was a money thing, because $5 million in one more year, if he really loved the Yankees, he would have gone back to the Yankees. We got another one here as well coming in from the Red Sox beat reporters. The Red Sox final deal was around the ballpark of $700 million, And I believe if I read the report correctly, it was 15 years. Yes, according to Sean McAdam, a beat reporter for the Red Sox. The Red Sox last and best offer was, $700 million for 15 years. So I know that everyone said the Red Sox were being used for leverage. They were in this. Now, of course, they did not up their offer by $50 million, $60 million. But if this is true, if this reporting is true, the Red Sox were in this. And I know that there was a bunch of rumors and reports, oh, this is being used as leverage. The Red Sox are being used as leverage. If this report's true, which I believe Sean McAdam, the Red Sox were in this. Like, this was a competitive three-team race as it appears. I would be interested to see where the Dodgers ended up. There was a report from John Heyman that they were around the $600 million range, so they probably weren't in it. I'm interested to see where the Blue Jays ended up because there were reports that the Blue Jays might actually give the most money of anyone. And in the end, Soto, it would have come down to whether or not it was a fit thing, and I didn't think that Toronto really was a fit. Okay, I'm going to get into more on this in a second, but first, make sure you subscribe. I had to make a pitch to my bosses that this signing deserved a video here on Chat Sports. So if you want more Major League Baseball coverage, the winter meeting started today, and they're headlined by the Juan Soto signing. If you want more Major League Baseball coverage, hit the subscribe button. Let's show the bosses that you guys want more Major League Baseball because I love baseball. I am Chat Sports' Major League Baseball analyst. I eat, sleep, breathe baseball. So show the bosses you want more baseball coverage and hit that subscribe button. All right. So Soto joins a Mets team that was on, again, the precipice of the World Series last year. And they fought with the Dodgers. And this was a very competitive, very, very relentless Dodgers lineup with good rotation, good bullpen, and the Mets hung in there. He now joins a team of Francisco Lindor, Mark Vientos, just to name a few. The Mets are not there yet. Soto instantly alone makes them a World Series contender, but if they want to be a World Series winner, they do still need to figure out their bullpen. They did bring in Clay Holmes, who they're going to turn into a starter, and I think that they still need to bring in more. They lose Luis Severino. They're probably going to lose Sean Manaea, so they're going to lose their two biggest frontline starters. They still need to upgrade their bullpen, their rotation. But I think they're in a very good spot, and I think all Mets fans tonight are rejoicing and praising the Lord that Juan Soto is a member of the Mets. What does this mean for the other teams going forward? It's not looking good for the Yankees. Obviously, they are now going to pivot towards Anthony Santander and Teoscar Hernandez to fill that void. Of course, nothing will fill the Juan Soto void, but Teoscar and Santander both are very good power-hitting outfielders that could contribute right away, and I think the Yankees would really like having. According to John Morosi of MLB Network, Santander and Teoscar Hernandez are going to be the focus of all the teams that were willing to spend on Soto. So the Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Dodgers are all in that category. There were reports that Teoscar was getting close to a deal with the Dodgers. There are now reports that the Red Sox are going to heavily be going after Teoscar Hernandez, and that Anthony Santander is in the crosshairs of both the Yankees and the Blue Jays pretty heavily as well. Those two names are the biggest names to watch in terms of outfield bats. They are going to be the most coveted names over the next few days. They could sign within the next few days. A lot of movement is going to happen in the winter meetings, and I think that the Yankees are going to specifically be looking to one of those two players, as well as now shifting their focus onto the big starting pitchers, Corbin Burnes and Max Fried. The Yankees reportedly last week met with both Max Fried and Corbin Burnes, and the big report was that Max Fried really, really liked the meeting that he had with the Yankees. So that is a name to watch as well. In terms of the Blue Jays have always been kind of a weird team for me in this sweepstakes because they're not really close. And after this season, both Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. are free agents. So that one is kind of a tougher one to kind of crack. I'm not so sure where they're going to go from here. I think they need to prioritize either locking down Bichette and Guerrero or looking toward the future, if that makes sense. The Dodgers have already made moves this offseason. They literally, at the time of recording this, They just re-signed right-handed reliever Blake Trinan, who is a big part of their World Series run. That was a 2-year, $22 million deal that just came across over the last few minutes. They already re-signed Tommy Edman. They brought in Blake Snell. The Dodgers are going to be a part of these sweepstakes because they're the Dodgers. I didn't ever have them as one of the front runners because they already have these huge contracts. I think the Dodgers are going to be fine. They just, won the World Series. Now, they are losing Walker Buehler, Jack Flaherty, but they just brought in Blake Snell, and they could still bring in Buehler, Jack Flaherty, but they also have a bunch of pitchers coming off of injury as well. So I think the Dodgers are going to be fine as well. I'm not really concerned about the Dodgers in all of this. They were just kind of there to see what happens, and yeah, it is what it is. And then we're going to finish off with the Red Sox, my Red Sox. I am a Red Sox fan, and I was following this closely. The Red Sox are now shifting as well, kind of taking the same route as the Yankees. They are going to heavily be involved in the Teoscar Hernandez sweepstakes. Teoscar was between the Red Sox and Dodgers last offseason. He did end up picking the Dodgers, but he loves the Red Sox. He loves playing at Fenway Park. He's always had an interest of playing under Alex Cora. So the Red Sox are a team to heavily watch when it comes to Teoscar Hernandez and his sweepstakes. And then the biggest need that the Red Sox have this offseason is starting pitching. So Max Fried and Corbin Burnes are the two biggest players to watch in this sweepstakes. The Red Sox are going to pivot swiftly. They're going to try to sign at least one of them. There was a report earlier in the year that they were going to try to get two of the top starting pitchers. But also, look out for a Garrett Crochet trade as well. There were reports swirling today that Marcelo Meyer, a top 4 prospect in their system, could be on the trade block in terms of a Garrett Crochet trade. The reports are that Crochet should be traded at the winter meetings this week. So only time will tell where Crochet would go, but the Red Sox are probably now going to be seen by many as one of the most aggressive frontrunners in a Garrett Crochet trade. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Before I go, let me know in the comments down below, who do you think is going to win the World Series this year? I think the Mets are now clear World Series favorites. I would still say the Dodgers as of right now, but I think the Mets are definitely up there. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And once again, before I get out of here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to convince the bosses that you want more Major League Baseball coverage, and the only way that we can do that is if you hit that subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Juan Soto is officially a New York Mets, and we'll see you next time.